What up? What up? What's going on, Janice? I mean, Simply J. If you guys are in here, throw a couple likes up. Let's get everybody alerted that we're in here tonight. Um, tonight, I don't know what you guys want to talk about, but I have a couple videos to share about consultation. I had a customer that came in today, and I hadn't seen him in like a year, maybe even a year and a half, and his hair was doing some things that I know that there's no way he could have asked for it. So I got a before and after video and kind of had him explain what he asked the barber for and how the result came about. So I'll share that video. Um, who's all in here? We got a few people watching. Let's get these likes up. Thank you guys for joining tonight. If you are new here, I'm Christopher Miniweather, and this is Dead Stock Barbershop. And on this channel, we talk barbering. Lots and lots of barbering. I've been doing it now for 20 years, I think. Oh, man, I was about 15 or 16 when I started, and I am now 36. So, yeah, it's been a minute. I still enjoy it. Um, but now, like, my mind is shifting when it comes to barbering. I see that it's really about the passion that I have for people, not so much the craft. Even though I love cutting hair, but I love people that much more. So, yeah, we'll get started here real quick. Old school mastery. Love your vids, bro. I'm trying to get like you. Hey, man, you can be better. You don't have to get like me. You can be better than me, baby. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And I appreciate you watching as well. You guys make it easy to do what I do. Thank you. It's crazy just to get some support from just people that you don't know. And even just have my sister jump in here and get some support from people you do know. But I think I'm gonna just go ahead and start this video off. I sent over. Let me pull it up. I sent the videos over. So of you guys that are in here, I want you guys to let me know. I'm gonna show you the end result, and then I want to hear what do you guys think that he asked for based on the end result. Let me get it pulled up, and I gotta share my screen as well. All right, just one picture, and I'm gonna share my screen. All right, so you guys should be able to see this. My guy right here, he has a man bun on top. His hair is probably, it's like it's wrapped up kind of. I know it's not super neat, but he's probably got a foot of hair up there. It's kind of going forward, and in the back, you see. What do you guys think this is? What kind of haircut? When he came into a barber shop, whatever shop he went to get this done, what do you guys think he said when he sat down in the chair? What kind of haircut do you think? Because I personally, I'm like, huh, interesting. And I must say, I wet his hair, and then I was like, oh, I should take a picture. I wet his hair, and then I combed it down. So it was really like kind of wild back there. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment. I mean, write a comment what you think this hairstyle is. Let me get pulled back up to the other screen so I can see. What do y'all think he asked for? Okay, so we got Mohawk. And so that, of course, that's the first thing you see. For you guys that just joined, we're talking about client consultations tonight. I got my guy Dustin right here. I just shared this picture. I'll bring it back up for you guys to see that missed it. Let's see, now my computer wants to be slow. So I'm asking you guys to leave a comment. We got one person who says, Mohawk, what do you guys think he asked for? He went to the barber shop and he sat down. He told the barber what he wanted, and this haircut was the end result. It's, mind you, it's grown out. I'm sure it's been a week or two or something like that. But on top, he has a foot of hair, and he wears it in a man bun all the time. Then he walked away with this right here. So All right, so you guys have seen the picture. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think he asked for, and I'm getting ready to reveal. I'll play the video because I recorded a video for you guys to kind of go through the process of a consultation and some of the questions I asked. All right, so let me see. Why isn't this pulling up? Am I covering? All right, so Old School Mastery says, I've never seen anything like that. Maybe a Mohawk. So here's the video that I did the before. Let me get it pulled up. I guess I should have turned my phone sideways. Okay, let me switch cameras. And let me know if you guys can hear it. You should be able to hear it. Let me just in case, I'll turn it up more. Turn movie up. So see, I don't know how I want to do this. I think we'll just keep this camera view right here. What's going on, guys? So we got my guy Dustin right here. He hasn't had a haircut from me in probably a year, 2 years, something like that. And so during this process of the consultation, the first thing I do is I spin him around, right? And I seen that he had the man bun. He's been rocking that joint for a long time. But this threw me off. This right here, this kind of threw me off. I was like, I've never seen this attempted. The man bun to the Mohawk. And then he let me know that this is actually not what he wanted. So this is why I say consultations, a thorough consultation is important so that we don't end up with something that the customer doesn't want. Even if they mention words that they didn't mean, you have to keep asking questions and translate through some of the customer's ignorance when they're asking for something or mentioning words. So let me know what it is that you want and that you wanted when you got this hairstyle. What do you want? What did you ask for?
All right, so basically, like right here at the beard, get this bald to like right here, and then just kind of fade up. And then I use the word Mohawk, which I think is how I ended up with this, but I basically just wanted this part right here just a little bit darker than everything else.
Okay, so when he told me what he was going for, I knew instantly that he really just wanted a drop fade. But he threw in the word Mohawk, which could throw anybody off. So this is how this was formed back here. And when he looked in the mirror and he saw it, he just kind of rocked with it because he knew he had said the wrong word. But we, as the professionals, so if you're asking me for that, it just sounded more like he wanted a drop fade and wanted to leave all this darker, not that he wanted to leave this dark. And so he just wants it a low drop fade all the way around. He wants that bald, leave everything else dark, but he doesn't want this hair super long in here. So we'll probably take that down with like a number. What do you want, Dustin? Maybe like a 2 or 3? What are you thinking?
2, 3, whatever.
Okay. And then we're gonna get rid of this, and we'll make all this the same length, and actually bring this up, and probably give him a nice part there, because his hair is actually, it should already be parted up there, but his hair is so long it's starting to catch. So yeah, he just wants a drop fade, and he doesn't want a Mohawk. But I've heard plenty of customers before mention a Mohawk-ish type thing when they're asking about drop fades, because they've seen so many drop fades done incorrectly that it really stands out to them. So we want to make sure that we are translating what they want so that they can get what they desire and it looks best. And so, yeah, I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so you guys saw that. Hey, what up, Rusty? What's good, my guy? So you guys saw how easily a customer can throw you off. Like, the customer doesn't know the lingo. They know what it kind of looks like. You look at enough drop fades, and they're not faded all the way out. It's going to look like something's going on. A lot of people are like, oh, I want kind of like that V in the back thing. And they don't really want a V in the back. They're just saying, like, I seen the fade go down kind of at an angle. So you see enough bad ones, you'll start to think that that's what it is. And I typically say, okay, do you actually want a mohawk, or are you looking for a drop fade, a low fade? And then I try to get them to show me pictures. Pictures always work best because they don't know what they're describing for the most part. They're not barbers, so they're going to use words that could throw you off. And I like to tell them, like, a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you don't know how to describe it, like if you see a haircut, you're on social media, then just take a screenshot. Like when you're like, oh, I like this, I'm gonna get this when I go to the shop. Take a screenshot and just bring that in. But for me, and let me show you guys what he ended up getting. So I did get a picture of that as well, or a video of what I ended up doing. Let's make it big screen.
I sure appreciate it.
So
man.
this is what he wanted.
So this is what he actually wanted. Nice little drop fade. Drop it down in the back. Zeroed out. Beard fade. He did not want a mohawk. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so yeah, that's what he actually wanted. He wanted a drop fade, and as you can see, those are two extremely different haircuts, and so it just takes time to do a consultation. There's no way he should have ended up with a mohawk until it was confirmed, even with him saying the word mohawk, because there's certain things that I'd ask. Okay, what kind of mohawk do you want? You mentioned a mohawk. Do you want a wide mohawk in the back? Like, how do you want it? Let's get some images of mohawks so that we can make sure that you get the desired one. And when I show them pictures, and they'll be like, oh, no, that's not what I wanted at all. I didn't actually want a mohawk. I thought that's what it was. Well, what do you call that other thing where it gets darker back there, but it's not necessarily like these pictures? And so we take that time to break it down and say, okay, here's a clear picture of what you're asking for. I'm going to repeat it back to you. And once you say yes, now we can go and do this thing. But then I give him the mirror at the end to make sure. So the reason he still had the mohawk in that video, in the first video, is because he was like, man, I tried to explain it as best as I could to the barber, and he seemed confused. And I just feel like if I'd have said anything else, it would have got worse. So I just took it and I left with it. And that's not what you want from your customers at all. Old School Mastery says, I've had guys get mad at me when they asked for a 1 on the sides, and I gave them 1, literally, what they asked for, LOL. Now I ask more specific questions to avoid these situations. Yeah, man, even when you ask somebody, like, how much do you want off the top? They'll go, oh, give me a number 3, give me a number 4, like, give me an inch off. It'll be a guy with, like, waves. They'll say, oh, take an inch off. Bro, you don't have an inch of hair. Like, what are we talking about here? So, I like to ask further and further questions before I get started. And that's why my initial, like the first time ever booking with me, I say this to you guys all the time, it's always a longer time that I give, longer duration for the cut. It's an hour long, and it costs you $20 more. Why do I charge $20 more? Because what I used to do is I started noticing, like, man, every time somebody comes in for the first time, I get behind. Like, and so what I started doing was I'd give them an additional 15 minutes. I'd block off 15 minutes after every new person. And then it hit me one day when I had to pay for my wife to get her sister locks done. She went in for a consultation with the person just so they can, like, look at her hair and check, like, the density and recommend the best side braids for her, or best side locks for her. And shoot, that costs money just to go in and look. That wasn't the actual service. And so I was like, why don't barbers do this? Like, I literally, like, I would have customers just come in like, hey, I want to get my son's hair. It's like, I want to get it cut. Like, can you do this? It's super curly. And they'll come into the shop just so I can check it out while I have a customer in my chair. So it's just like, you know what? Let's add a consultation to the initial appointment. And I'm not going to just cut off 15 minutes like I've been doing, just blocking it, because just imagine if you get 3 new people in a day, well, 15 minutes extra for each person, that's a 45-minute service that someone who would book a 30 or 45-minute service can't book, because I just gave that time away. So instead of giving that time away, I put the price on to the customer. And so I still get a lot of new people. I had a new guy. I probably do 2 to 3 new people each week, honestly. Like, well, not every week, because a lot of times I'm full, but there's days where they have to book a little bit further out, and I'll look up and like, okay, 3 weeks from now, I got like 3 new people this week, 2 new people. Plus I get calls every day. So yeah, as Rusty said, man, a good consultation is key. Like, you cannot beat it. It's, to me, it's the most important part of the haircut, other than fading. Like, what else is important? Getting paid, of course. But if you don't give me what I want, then the cut's not good. If I ask you for something and you give me the best version of something I didn't want, I still didn't want that. That's not what I asked for. So walking away, I'm an unhappy, unsatisfied customer, and I'm really not looking to come back. I know some people are like, oh, that's their first time cutting my hair. I like to give them, 2 or 3 tries. But if they don't get it by then, by the first, second haircut, then I'm good. And so we really have a limited amount of time to make someone your client. But every new client is an opportunity, even when it's a walk-in in a shop. If you guys are in a full-size barber shop, every haircut you do is an opportunity to build your clientele. And so people appreciate it. Like, if I were to show you guys my my Google reviews, like, people appreciate that I take that time. They're willing to pay more because they see, like, I put it in the description of the service, like, this is for this reason. I want to make sure that you get the best results. So that's why it's costs you $20 more to book with me. And people do it and they still tip. Like I said the other day, if you guys went on, I had a guy first time in, and he's been going to, like, not even Supercuts type places, like some lady that his mom or somebody's been sending him to since he was a kid, and so I think he said he's only had 1 attempt at a actual fade, and it was like one of his homeboys who was trying to cut hair at the time. So I finished cutting his hair. That dude gave me $120. The price was $80. He tipped me $40 on top of that. So people still tip even with the higher price point because they appreciate it. They see the end result matches exactly what I described, and they appreciate that, man. Do you consult with clients, then put on the cape? Yeah, so the first thing I do when it's a new person, I sit them in a chair and I turn them to the mirror. Where did I get that from? Working at Supercuts, because we always had to face them in the mirror. And most people, like, I got a lot of, like, white customers, Hispanics, like, so depending on the length of their hair, Asian guys, like, they're going to start pulling at their hair. So as soon as they get to talking, well, I'm just thinking, like, nope, let me get you facing the mirror, because I don't want you telling me anything and you pointing out stuff and you don't even know what you're pointing at. I don't want you saying, oh, I want, like, this much off. No, let's turn you around. I'm going to pull your hair up. How much would you like off the top? How tight do you want the sides brought in? How long has it been since your last haircut? What did you like? What didn't you like about your last haircut? I ask those type of questions that they're like, oh, okay, this person cares about getting the right result. So, yeah, man, you got to turn folks around. Let them look at themselves in the mirror and let them play with their hair in the mirror. You comb through it. Like, I'm rubbing my hands through it. I'm looking through it. I'm feeling for, like, any divots and, like, all kind of stuff. I'm asking you guys, do you have any cowlicks? Do you have any, like, certain areas that you want me to pay attention to? And some people they'll have like a little bump in their head that's sensitive or whatever the case may be, and they just point it out. And they're like, okay, this person has compassion. You can tell that they care about what they're doing. And so if you guys can incorporate that, even if you're not charging for it yet, like, you should incorporate that before you start cutting anybody's hair. It's a conversation that needs to be had. And in any conversation, you want to know that you're being heard. So as you tell me what you want, I repeat back to you what you want. and that's going to minimize mistakes. And after that, all you got to do is cut hair. All you got to do is what you've been ready to do. So once they're done, they're like, well, that's pretty much it. All right, cool. Then I spin them around, and we just get to chopping it up. And I use that. It's an hour, so we can have that full conversation. Really, that's what it's mainly about. Like, I love meeting new people. So in that hour's time, it's almost like a job interview. Like, I'm asking them all kind of questions about themselves. Like, what do you do for a living? Like, how long you been doing it? You got a family? You married? Where you from? Are you originally from Texas? Like, I'm just going through it, and we chop it up, and they feel like, oh, I feel like I've been knowing this guy forever. So I love that process. I love, love, love all my customers, but I love meeting new people. I love seeing their faces because 9 times out of 10, they haven't had a barber that was put in the level of detail I try to put into my work, plus the compassion for what they got going on. And something that they love is that I have a pretty good memory when it comes to like names and conversations. So when they come back, we talk about whatever we talked about. So I had a guy today that was his second time coming. I cut his hair like a month and a half ago for the first time, and so even then I do like a small little consultation for the second visit. I like to ask him like, okay, so what did you like? What didn't you like about the last haircut? Was there anything that I needed to change? Anything that I could do differently to make sure that we get the results? And he was just like, oh man, no, I loved it. It was perfect. He was like, you have to be like number one, maybe number two barber that's ever cut my hair. He's from Korea, and he's like, and the only reason I was like, okay, well, who's number two then? Because I know I'm number one. He was like, well, the only reason I probably would put the other person as number one is because she's Korean and she has more experience. But I don't think the haircut was better than yours. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just say she's better at Korean hair because that's all she does. But he was like, but honestly, nah, the haircut was much better than I ever had. And so I was like, all right, well, cool. I'll take that. Even if I'm second place to the Korean lady in Korea, I'll take that. Because a lot of Asian people, they have trouble with getting really good haircuts because of their hair texture and how straight it can be. If you cut it too short, you guys know if you've ever done it, it's gonna sprout on you. It's gonna be straight. Ain't no, you can be trying to wet it and comb it down. As soon as it's dry, it's bing. So you got to know what you're doing. What up, Zane? What's going on, Mr. Braggs? I need to get better at talking with my clients. I'm not antisocial. I just want to cut, honestly. And there's nothing wrong with that. So there are different kind of people. I think that you should know who those customers are that want to talk. And honestly, I think you would like it a lot more if you were able to have conversations with your customers, because these are going to be the people that are, when you really think about it, these people support you. These people are helping you to pay every single bill that you have. These people are feeding your family. These people are doing all of these things. And so for me, I love to talk and just see what they're going through. I guess I feel like I'm nosy. So I used to be like, man, I wish I just had a TV show just so I can talk to people and see what the heck they're doing. Or I wish I could just, and this is weird, y'all gonna think it's weird, but I used to tell my wife, like, we'd be driving somewhere and I'll just look at people and I'm like, where are they going? I just want to know where they're going, what they're about to do. Like, it's just random people just driving on the freeway. Like, where is he going right now? And then I told her, I used to be like, I wish I could just like have a remote and just be like, okay, let me see what such and such is doing. Let me see what somebody else is doing. But then I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, you don't want to see everything everybody doing. That you might get scarred a little bit. But yeah, I have a genuine interest in people, so it comes naturally and very easy for me. But I understand that everybody's not like that, and some people don't like that their barbers talk a lot, especially if you're the type of person that, as you talk, you slow down tremendously. I have that problem. Like, if I can get to talking, I don't stop cutting, but I know that I'm slower. So especially if it's somebody like, hey man, I got somewhere to be. Do you think you can get me in any like before the normal time? Yeah, bro, I can get you out. Like, yeah, I'm just not gonna be talking. I'll be like, I'm gonna just shut up. Whatever you want to tell me, I'm listening, but I'm gonna shut up because I know if I'm talking, if I'm engaged, bro, it's not gonna happen. And so, yeah, I'm nosy. I understand. I know me. I am nosy. Rusty says, if you have any new clients, if your memory isn't great like mine, make a little note. Example: John just bought a new car. So, John, how's your new car going? Yeah. So I think that's perfect. As well as let's. It just depends on what do you have. Like on your online booking, most websites, most apps have a section for notes, and I feel like a lot of people don't utilize it. That's a great place to put the haircut they got. Like, oh, this guy gets a number 3 all the time. I do a pretty good job of remembering. I don't know how. It's just like when they sit down in my chair, then it's like, oh, okay, I did this last. But if that's not you, utilize the notes in the software that we use to book customers and all these different things. Or you can start your own little Rolodex in your notes on your phone. You can say um, John Smith, number 3, drop fade, bald with the beard, or something like that, you know. And so you can ask them, hey, same thing. And I think as you go along, you start to remember a lot easier. I think it's like it's exercise for your brain, you know. So for me, like I'm always constantly talking and asking questions, and so I find it easy to remember. Like I know my customers' like wives' names, their kids' names. Don't ask me how, because if my wife asks me something or tell me something, I'm gonna forget it. Like I'm like, what? We never even talked about that. But when it comes to work, like it's on. Like flip the switch. Hey, bro, did you ever buy that? Blah blah blah. How's the? They be like, dang, how do you remember that? I don't know, bro. I just want to know if you got it or not. I don't know. Sandman, what's good? Sandman says some barbers would be good psychologists. Sit in a chair and tell me what's on your mind, bro. That's exactly what I do, literally every single day, like all the time. And so that customer that I was telling you guys about, that this was his second time, like we talked about some real deep stuff on the first video. He was like, I don't even know why I'm telling you this stuff, but I feel like I'm supposed to. And so like we got all into like stuff that he's going through with his family and all these different things. But it was dope because like later on that day, it's crazy because that was on a Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, see, a month and a half ago, I remember that was a Wednesday. Well, Wednesdays I do my church group, and I remember I went to my group that later on that evening on Zoom, and I actually told them about like some of the things that he was going through and just things that others are going through in life and like their outlook on life, and how like, man, like we really got to get out and show people the love of Christ. And so I remember like we prayed and everything, and I just wanted to, pray for him and others that are still lost and out there in the world like that, man. And today we end up having a conversation, and I let him know, like, bro, me and my church group, like, we prayed for you last time. Like the last time I seen you, he was like, for what? Like, what were you even talking? Like, he was like, what'd you tell them? You know, because I was like, I was talking about you with my church group, and we actually prayed for you. And he was like about what? And then I just started reminding him about the conversation. He was like, oh yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And he's an atheist, like, and we ended up having like a crazy great conversation. And he was asking like all kind of questions, and he was like, bro, I've never had anybody explain Christianity to me to what they cohesive thought where I can understand, because he's a very very smart guy. And so I was just like, bro, this is crazy. Like, you just never know the conversations. And that's one of the reasons I love being in a suite. Like, you may not be able to have those, really intimate conversations when there's multiple people around. So, anybody else? Anybody got any questions or comments or anything about anything that has been said tonight, or anything you guys want to talk about? Yeah, TG, like that was mind blowing, bro. I was like, yo, this is so dope. Like, this is so dope. Oh, let me turn this up on. Like, he ended up asking me questions about the Bible and all these kind of different things, and it's just crazy because he's like, I don't believe in it. He was like, I believe that like what people perceive to be God is really just time, and things happen in time, things don't happen, but when things go well, we just like, oh, okay, this was God or whatever. Yeah, we just had some great conversations to where he was like very inquisitive, and he was even like in the conversation he was like, maybe it's just that I'm so jaded about like how my life has been going so far, and different relationships, and just maybe my perspective is a little off, you know. And I'm like, bro, he came in the shop not thinking that about the way that he thinks, and through conversation your mind can change, you know. Like, Dan, what's up, bro? What did you miss? Okay, let me just show you real quick. We've been talking about client consultation. Um, one of my guys came in. I hadn't cut his hair in like a year and a half. He comes in and he has a man bun on top with a mohawk in the back, and it's short on the sides. And I'm like, nah, I know he didn't ask for this haircut, because he always just gets like he would get like a drop fade with a or like, what do you call that, an undercut. And so I'm like, it's no way he asked for this. So yeah, we went through the story, and he told me how he ended up with that haircut. I'll show you what he ended up getting. I'll pull it back up. Sorry for you guys who've already seen it, but Dan missed it, so my guy Dan got to see it. Let's get it pulled up. So I won't play the whole video, but this is
Process of the consultation. The first.
yeah. And so I'm like, yo, what? I've never seen this kind of haircut. What you got going on, bro? What is this? You know, like, how did we get here? And gonna find out he just wanted a drop fade, but he didn't know how to describe it. And he even mentioned Mohawk to the customer, I mean to the barber. And so I know that just threw the barber off, who was just like, I don't know what he's explaining. And so this is the end result. You know, he got a drop fade, and he was happy. And so we just been talking about, this video will be posted onto YouTube as well. So, but yeah, we were just talking about the importance of a consultation. I gave some of the steps by which I do my consultations, and just how to get the best results. And then we kind of went into just some things like, I think Sandman asked about, like, you, like, barbers are like psychiatrists basically, like. And I was saying that I'm nosy, and so I got a pretty good memory about, you know, different hairstyles and different things that the customers say. And Rusty gave some, he dropped a little nugget. He was like, if your memory's not that great, you can take notes. So one of the things that I pointed out was that most of the apps that we use for online booking, you can go on there, and there's a section for notes for each customer. So that's an opportunity to put whatever you want in the notes, honestly. But you can put their haircut in there. Rusty, you know, in his example, he was talking about if a customer is buying a new car, we can say, well, John bought, he was talking about getting a new car. So when he comes back, I'll look in the notes. Oh, I got John today. Okay, let me ask John about this car. Did you get it? What'd you get? What color was it? Oh, man, that's fire. Let me see. You got pictures? Like, that's me. I am nosy. I'll be like, bro, you got pictures? Come on, bro. Don't tell me you done went to Mexico and you ain't come back with no pictures for me, bro. I'll tell him, I'll be like, when you out there, man, take some pictures for me. I want to see them when you get back. You get married, oh, you better come back with some photos, anything. So those are just some things that I do that has really helped grow my business. And so you guys will kind of find your own path. You'll know what works for you. You'll know what doesn't work. Like I said, you don't have to be a super talkative barber. Like, you don't have to be that guy. But I think it's great to be friendly. I think it's a great thing to be at least sociable with your clients. You ain't got to be talking to everybody in the shop, but I think that helps too, though. Like, that's just some of the things that I did. Like, I like talking, so I'm getting into arguments with other people's customers about who better, LeBron or Jordan. You know, like, we was getting the shop just popping, so that when it's time, like when that barber was booked up, they're like, oh, Chris is cool. Chris, you got anybody? Nah, bro, come on over, bro. We can finish that conversation from last time you was here. And next thing I know, you know, you up there playing Call of Duty with some of your customers. Like, I just like that kind of stuff. So, guys, we're about to call it quits tonight because I got to get up super early in the morning and go hit the gym and all this other stuff. And so I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I'm sorry for you guys that joined kind of late that may have missed some things. I think I gave you a pretty good review of some of the things that were said. Um, but I am appreciative that you guys are here with me once again. So this has been Deadstock Barbershop. I'm Christopher Manyweather. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys all have a great night, and I will see you back here tomorrow sooner than what I got on tonight. I was over here messing with those videos, trying to get them switched over to my computer from my phone, and it was tripping. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch you guys later. Love y'all. Peace.